Hi everyone, I'm going to be showing you two cards today using Blue Knight rubber stamps, new stamp called Bamboo Borders. This is what the stamp looks like. It has 3 different stamps, including the sentiment, which is from Galatians: love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, gentleness, self-control. Against such there is no law. And then the left and the right bamboo border. This is what it looks like when you get it. It comes on this laminated heavy-duty storage card. And this is all the storage that you need. When you're ready to use, you just peel it off. When you're ready to put it back away, you just stick it back on. It sticks every time. Years later, it's still going to stick to that laminated storage card. So for my first card, I've got VersaFine Clair ink. The color I'm using is Shady Lane. And I'm just basically taking the borders and I'm just putting them on this green cardstock that I had in my stash. And I'm just arranging and rearranging and seeing what design I get. So I was able to get 3 across this A2 size panel. I put them facing each other, and then the last one I put back to back. Yeah, so I've got 3 there. Next, I took a piece of off-white colored cardstock, and I am stamping the sentiment, and I'm using archival ink, and I'm just using my Misty in case I need to ink twice. But I think my ink pad's pretty juicy, so I don't need to. But this time I will. Okay. First time I only inked it once. The second time I inked it twice. I always clean my stamps right away. By the way, if you've stumbled across my channel and you've never been here before, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it greatly helps me to grow my YouTube channel. Give this video a thumbs up, please. And don't forget to leave a comment. I love reading your comments, and I read each and every one of them. Now, I'm going to take a die that I had from my stash. It's a rectangle die. I'm going to trim this down. It's not, I don't know. It's like the size below A2, like by 1/8 of an inch. Really, you could have just trimmed the edges off if you wanted to. But I was going for more of a finished look that had some stitching around the edges or whatever. Yeah, so that's why I did the die instead. And I'm just using my Spellbinders Platinum 6 to trim this out. Then I have double-sided tape adhesive, and I'm going to use that. You see I have my sentiment stamped out on this cream-colored cardstock. I am using foam tape behind my sentiment, and I'm going to put this on a black mat. I'm also putting the green panel on a black mat. Okay, so let's just go ahead and remove this adhesive back. And we'll go ahead and put our sentiment on that mat. Let's remove our adhesive. I always fold my little adhesive back till I get my card panel centered, and then I remove otherwise I'll get it crooked. And then I'm like, where am I going to put this sentiment? Well, I think I'll put it over here to the left. So it's not in the center of the card, but over to the left side. And I'm just using some double-sided tape here to adhere that down. And that's my first card. And at the end of this video, I'll have a still photo so you can get a closer look. That's a simple card. You see, I've made a variety of them using the same kind of idea. I did heat emboss the other ones, so that's the only difference. Now for my next card, I'm going to be using the stencil and stamp through set. This one is the sun, moon, circle. So it's got 3 that you can use either as a mask or stencil. And Blue Knight Rubber Stamps has a wide variety of stencil and stamp through sets. Check it out on their website. I'll have their website linked below in the description box. What I'm doing is I'm spraying a little bit of pixie spray, and I'm going to let that dry for 30 seconds, and I'm actually going to tap it with my finger to try to get rid of some of the stick. You don't want it to tear your paper when you take it off. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to be a removable low-tack adhesive, but sometimes when you're such a concentrated area, you just have to be careful when you use pixie spray on your projects. My card panel is on an acrylic block, which is like a grippy, sticky. It's not really sticky. It's just grippy. It's just basically a large piece of acrylic, and it's basically holding my paper in place. Now I'm using Oh Boy from Catherine Pooler, which is light blue. I am using a foam dome blending tool. I'm starting off the paper. So I'm starting on that grid and that grid acrylic, and I'm sliding my dauber over. Okay, so this helps to keep from getting big round dots concentrated on your card panel. I am speeding this up for the sake of time. Next, I'm going to use a different foam dome blending tool, and I'm going to get my dark blue Catherine Pooler. It's called Suede Shoes, and I'm going to go ahead and ink blend right on top of that light blue, leaving the middle section of the panel lighter than the edges. So my goal is to get the edges and the bottom darker than the middle. Now it looks a little splotchy, but don't worry. It's no big deal because I'm going to be stamping over this, and so it'll all be really pretty towards the end. Now I've got my stencil. This is from that Blue Knight Rubber Stamp Sun Moon, and then I have some light gray ink from Catherine Pooler. It's called Pebble. Just using a brush to fill in, and then I have some metallic silver ink. Now you can use any metallic silver ink. Mine is just a generic one. You can use whatever you have in your stash, but the metallic silver for the moon I thought would be appropriate. And that's what the panel looks like after I'm done inking it. And I'm going to throw that into my MISTI. I'm using archival ink, which is permanent ink. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp the bamboo borders over top of that moon. I think it's called Jet Black. That's the name of their black ink. And I have to stamp twice or ink twice. Make sure you put that paper right back where you started. Always tuck it in the corner. That way you're going to get perfect placement every time. Again, I'm cleaning my stamp, and now I'm going to go on to my next step. After I put everything away, I'm going to move on to my next step, which is taking that mask and putting it over top of that moon. That's where you'll see that you can use it in so many different ways. Now I've got my splat box, and I have these metallic mica watercolors. Whatever you have in your stash that is a bright white, you can even use white ink or white re-inker. I like this because it's pearl, sort of. Yeah, so I'm just splashing some of that onto my card panel using lots of water and a fan brush and flicking it on a small acrylic block. And then I have a white gel pen, and I'm just going through and coloring in where the artist drew her lines. So anywhere she has already created, I'm just going through with this gel pen and filling in. Sometimes the gel pens can be really fussy. You guys probably know this. So I fuss around a little bit trying to get a good, get the ink to flow good. And I also went through and just drew some lines along this bamboo, just sort of to highlight or whatever. I drew it on the right, and then I drew some on the left. So on one shoot of bamboo, I would highlight on the right and the other one on the left, just one side. And then for the leaves, I went through and just drew some little highlights on the edges of the leaves. And I think this really is a very sort of dramatic looking card, but I think it's really pretty. I was really pleased with how this turned out. I like the splatter of the, white sort of back in the background, sort of like stars. And then I like drawing with this gel pen to get some highlights. So I actually have, you see side by side, I made two. Just because I wanted to, what I normally do is I create a card and then I go through and I make a video of how I did it. That way, I know where I'm going. I don't just start videotaping until I have an idea of how I'm going to create. Now, this is a stamp set from Blue Knight. It's called Did You Know? One Line Sentiments. And I just trimmed them down. One says, "You are amazing." The other says, "You are a blessing to me." And of course, I fiddle around a little bit trying to figure out where I'm going to place them on each one of my finished card panels. Again, I'm going to mat my card panels with black cardstock. So I'm just trimming things down to fit. And I do that with both of them. So again, I will have everything linked in the description box below. If you're new to my channel, I'd love it if you would subscribe. If you're not new, thank you. I welcome you back. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're all here. Please leave a comment and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Leaving a comment, that's very helpful to me. I love hearing what you think about what I've created. Which one is your favorite? I think the blue one is my favorite. I love the way that, I can't help it. I just love the way that pearl like splatter looks, like stars in the background. Yeah, so those are my two cards for today. Hang on and I'll show you some still photos. And I want to encourage you to head over to the Fans of Blue Knight Rubber Stamps on Facebook, where you'll see the cards that the other design team created with this stamp. You'll see them post theirs throughout the week. And Blue Knight Rubber Stamps has a YouTube channel. You might want to check that out too. There's a lot of really good videos on there on how to use their products. Again, thanks everybody for watching and have a hopeful day. Bye-bye.